Well, folks, it appears we finally are getting rid of Prince Harry and his erstwhile wife, Meghan Markle. That's right. There has been news for weeks now that they have purchased a home in Portugal and they might be moving there very soon. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the Hi everyone, my name is Jake Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. All right, so the Royal Rogues are back in the headlines, and this time they're feeling kind of sad because they might have to take their kids away from their home in Montecito, where they live in California, where Meghan Markle has done failed business opportunity after failed business opportunity. So before her and Prince Harry had a deal with Netflix that's falling apart because they don't want to work. She hosted a podcast on Spotify, which she was paid millions for. That has gone the way of the dinosaurs because, again, she wouldn't work. And there were also rumors that she didn't even interview the guest, that she actually had an assistant interview them, and then she voiced over her own voice asking the questions. None of the interviewees have confirmed or denied that. Neither has she, as far as I know. Then they decided to get into to jam with American Riviera Orchards in Montecito. And she can't seem to get a CEO to run the business. It was supposed to be some sort of Goop knockoff, the Gwyneth Paltrow sort of lifestyle brand. It was supposed to be a knockoff of that, but so far she's only been able to produce jam, which I hear isn't even really that good. A few weeks ago, I had commented on Prince Harry possibly being in a lot of trouble with his visa because in his memoir, Spare, he writes about his experience with illicit substances. And let's just say the immigration office kind of looks poorly on that. But because, at the time, this would have been during President Biden's administration, he was given kind of a pass for this, and the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, sued to get that report released publicly. A judge denied that, so he kind of had a little bit of a win there. However, President Trump, the incoming president and former president, he has said that he's not going to give Prince Harry and Meghan a free pass. So what happens? They decide that they are going to pack up their toys and move on over to Portugal, which they're headed right where they belong with a bunch of other snobby Europeans, and they can hang out with them and drink tea with their pinky out however they want to. So this is according to The Express. Although a royal expert claims it is sad Prince Archie and Prince Lilibet are growing up away from their royal cousins, it is believed a home base in Portugal might strengthen relationships between Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the royal family, and even help put an end to the estrangement between the Sussexes and the rest of the royals. The Duke and Duchess's decision to buy property in Portugal has been seen by some as a symbol that the couple wish to integrate European life into the lives of their children. Former BBC royal correspondent Ginny Bond told OK Magazine, "It may well be that with Donald Trump back in the White House, Harry and Meghan might spend more time in their Portugal house, at least in the school holidays." Ginny described the sadness of Archie and Lilibet being estranged from Harry's relatives. She explained how curious and sad it will be for Archie and Lilibet if they grow up knowing they are part of one of the most famous families in the world, and yet they are estranged from almost all of them, to know that their grandfather and uncle were both kings and they didn't know them. I would just like to point out something to Jenny Bond formerly of BBC. Harry and Meghan created this themselves. Meghan Markle threw a fit because when she first came to England to be introduced to Prince Harry's family, they didn't let her live in the palace. She was giving a cottage. Now, by the way, this is a nice cottage. It's not some small house that you might find, here in the neighborhoods of Phoenix, Arizona. This was a nice cottage. She just threw a little bit of a hissy fit because she wanted to actually live in Buckingham Palace. So then they get married. They're allowed to move into Buckingham Palace, and the Queen even gifts them a sort of castle, I guess. And that didn't satisfy her. So what does she do? She gets into Prince Harry's mind that she's just like his mom, Princess Diana, which she's not. She is a D-list actress at the most who's known to be recurring characters on TV shows. She's never been able to handle a TV show herself, even her own TV show. And she gets it all in his head that this is just like his mother. And then they throw fits about because she's biracial. And to be fair, the press was mean to her and to him, quite frankly. But, they're always mean to the royal family. Some of it is very deserved, or very deserved. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound British there. Some of it is very deserved. However, I will say one of the things Prince Harry often says is that the press, basically caused the death of his mother, Princess Diana. That is true. I mean, that's just a fact. That's why their driver got into the accident. Even if he was a little inebriated, it was their nonsense that caused that accident. Anyway, continuing on. I do think that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, this was all of their own making. They could have avoided it. They could have just followed protocol, because don't forget, they did the same thing to Kate. It's just Meghan Markle wanted special treatment. She felt she was entitled to it because she happened to be biracial, which, by the way, her mother wasn't even really a big part of her life until years later. It was her father. And according to her half brother, he said that she wouldn't invite him to see his grandchildren, wouldn't invite him to the wedding unless he cut off her half sister and her half brother, which is kind of disturbing and messed up. Now, these are accusations from him specifically. I don't know if they're true or not, but it just is so odd to me that this social climbing woman is now at the peak, but instead of being grateful, instead of taking a step back, no, she and Prince Harry have to play the victim. They had to go on this worldwide privacy tour. She did like some charitable work in Africa, but then made it all about herself. She doesn't have a charming personality. Now, she is very lovely. She has a good fashion sense, I'll say, unless she goes to a country where they have a certain expectation of modesty for visiting dignitaries. But anyway, she's clearly poor at business because they can't get any sort of deal that they make in media to get off the ground. All I have to say is if they are planning to move to Portugal, bye. I hope the door hits you on the way out. It is just ridiculous how Prince Harry and Meghan Markle moved to America and expected to get all of these accolades, and they did it first. Hollywood was on their side. But the public just got tired of their constant whining, the me, 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 me attitude of a spoiled prince and his spoiled wife. They are nothing more than highfalutin celebrities who happen to now have all this royal accreditation. And listen, in America, that doesn't matter. 1776 happened for a reason. You might be hot stuff in the UK and maybe even in mainland Europe. We don't give a crap, and nor should we. Americans, don't be enamored with British royalty. It's all fake anyway. It's all whatever it used to be, where it was tied to fairy tales and we're going to make the king immortal in this sort of way and all that jazz. I hate to spoil it for you. They're not immortal. Most people in England can't even name all of their kings and queens. For one thing, they have multiple names, which is also insanely stupid, and they're not connected to them. They've lost touch with them. Now, King Charles is trying to bridge that gap a little bit, and maybe he'll be successful. I understand he's very ill, so maybe he won't be, maybe he will be, but whatever the case may be, it does appear that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are taking their ball and going home right where they belong. They're going to Portugal, and hopefully they'll stay there. Europe, no take backsies. They are yours now. They are yours to deal with, and I hope you have fun with that, because we certainly didn't. All we got was a bunch of ludicrous headlines about high-speed chases that never happened, about privacy that then they said they didn't even want, they didn't even talk about. We're over it. We've had enough. The tide has turned. It's all you now. You can have them. And quite frankly, I hope Prince Harry reconnects with his brother, reconnects with his father, because that is something important, just as far as being a family. But then it's all in the UK now. It's all in England. The British tabloids can have their fun with it, because I'm certainly tired of hearing about their antics, and I'm celebrating that they're off to Europe, even if it's for a few holidays. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment and tell me what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell to get notifications when I post new vidcasts, and consider becoming a channel member. Now, if you want more of me, I post daily content on my website, StudioJakeMedia.com. You can head over there. It's free. There are no ads. Sign up with your email address for reviews, views, and news, so much more. If you want to support the channel, head on over to my locals community. The link is in the description. It's sort of like a combination of Discord and Patreon. You can give me tips, or you can become a monthly subscriber. You can check out my articles that I have there that are exclusive to my locals community. I also post some of my short stories there, so head on over and check those out and become a subscriber. If you want to support me in a totally different way, check out one or all of my books. I've got Cacophony, a supernatural thriller, my Sword and Sorcery trilogy, The Seven Royals, All Good Things, and its sequel, Breaking the Stars, not to mention my fantasy romance novella, Blessed Child, which just came out this year. You can get one or all of them on Amazon.com. Leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.